Hello, everyone. Welcome to the post-game show where the Eagles lost to the Dallas Cowboys 37-10, and the Eagles season is now officially on life support. And when things don't seem to be getting worse, they seem to do. But before we hop into it, I'm just going to say congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys. The team deserved to win, and they actually were the team that showed up yesterday. Congratulations to them and your fans. You deserve the win. Now we're going to get into my team, and I'm skipping over the stats because if the Eagles can't bother to put in an effort, why should I bother to put an effort into this? So we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. Eagles played like crap. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say more than that. The Eagles played probably the worst game I have seen under the Doug Peterson era. It's like there was no discipline, and these players are just so unmotivated. It's mind-boggling. And if this team can't come out and rally against the Bills, then pretty much this team's a lost cause. I mean, this team is already turning into a lost cause for most fans. Most fans have already given up at this team at this point, and I don't blame them at all. This is your Eagles of 2019, and I'm actually going to take back my comment I said about them being similar to the Eagles that were in the final year of Chip Kelly's tenure. I was wrong. This team may be worse than that. Worse. Because at least with that team, the common dysfunction was that they all hated Chip Kelly. But here, it's just all over the place. This was just a sloppy game all around. Even Carson Wentz, who's just been carrying the Eagles on his back this year, had a terrible game. And I know everyone's going to point to faults to positive players, and they all deserve it. The only player I would say that we shouldn't be as harsh to is probably Jalen Mills, because he came back from injury and he's only been practicing for like a week, so I kind of would expect him to be rusty. Though he did have one interception, so at least he was he was a secondary person that actually did something worth a damn. But of course, because of how incompetent our offense has been, that interception, they didn't do jack crap with it. In fact, they immediately turned it over right after. Bravo! At this point, I think there needs to be some changes made. I think the first change that needs to be made, and I'm going to go ahead and probably say something that a lot of Eagle fans are thinking right now, and that is fire Mike Goff. This guy is a freaking terrible offensive coordinator. It showed with the Rams when he was there, and also it shows right now. Because you could chalk up last season to it being everyone adjusting to a new offensive system. But this is year freaking 2, and somehow the offense looks less organized and less into it, and just seems to degrade more and more every week. It is a freaking embarrassing loss, especially in a pretty much must-win game, because this is a game that is not only important for the divisional stakes, not only for the rivalry, but the fact that it's in the middle of the season, and this is a game where both teams were on a similar projection with momentum, and this is one of those games that's going to have huge consequences for this team. And at this point, it's like you're kind of in a crossroads of, do we want to go ahead and just keep trying to patch up a broken ship heading into the end of the season where we'll barely miss the playoffs and be stuck with a mid-round pick? Or do we go ahead and actually make the playoffs with a higher-end pick, but get our asses beat in the first round handedly? Either way, it's a lose-lose situation. There is just no words. And I'm going to go ahead and just give my grades right now before I get into more of this, and that is offense F, defense F. That's all I need to say. There was pretty much little to no redeeming qualities in this game. None whatsoever. I have I thought I was gonna be upset last week with the way the team performed, but oh boy, this week, oh. Now I'm gonna go ahead and read some statements from some players. So, Zach Ertz, our tight end, said, "Tonight was embarrassing. One of the most embarrassing games I have ever been a part of here in Philly. I take a lot of pride for playing with the Eagles, and I take a lot of pride playing for the city. We took one on the chin today against a team that we hate. Simple as that. I feel bad for the fans. Honestly, it's a pitiful performance." Yep, he said it. He said it actually really well there. It was a very pitiful performance. And these are the same Eagles that people are buying season tickets to. Same Eagles that people are buying season tickets to. Can you imagine just wasting thousands and thousands of dollars to watch this trash team play? I mean, I'm probably going to settle down later, but I'm just going to, for the moment, let my salt flow through the video, because let's be real here. You're all watching the video to see an Eagles fan be salty, so I'm going to give you what you want. Even if I feel like I'm going to be contradicting myself like in the next few days or so. We'll see. Then we have Lane Johnson, who said, "It's obviously something that you don't want going around." He said about the anonymous reports, which actually came out more today, which I'll address in a little bit, but all we can do at the end of the day, all we can control to do is put out a shitty performance like that. But at the end of the day, all we can control is what we do. Putting out a shitty performance like that is definitely something that we can't do. So this is something that's going to be lingering on a lot of players for a lot of reasons. And Lane Johnson actually later reported that, or rather said that there's actually Eagle players showing up late to practice. Now, Michael Jenkins disagreed with that, but what we know is that the offense and the defensive meetings are held in separate rooms. So, yeah, it's definitely, so there's more offensive woes going on here, and it seems that Mike Gaw is losing them on that side. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about what a former Eagle player said, Brian Westbrook. "Recipe to get blown out: 4 turnovers, bad tackling, bad secondary play, forcing throws, no creativity in play calling, being late to practice and meetings. Add whatever you like to this list. I'll be watching." So, yeah. And then, in terms of the scene after the game, you also had that report statement from Earth, but you also had Alshon Jeffrey sitting in his locker room at A&T Stadium with his head down as a dozen reporters surrounded him. He remained seated and slumped for the duration of the interview that lasted less than 2 minutes. Malcolm Jenkins, the Eagles' defensive leader, was nowhere to be found. His locker room empty before anyone could ask him a question. Nelson Aguilar lingered at this locker post when most of the media had already left. He methodically changed into his post-game outfit and slipped into his shoes, slowly struggling to get one on the right foot get one to the left fit right before he finally faced the cameras. Zach Ertz, choked up, was close to tears, speaking about how he turns to faith in times of peril. That is what the Eagles right now are. Peril. We are all going to be held accountable. That was an acceptable, embarrassing loss today. I mean, it seems like this team just stopped giving a crap sometimes since, they won the Super Bowl. Where was all that talk about the new norm in Philadelphia? We didn't want to go back. We didn't want mediocrity as the new norm. Where was all that? Where was all that hype now, honestly? What were you hyping up? I mean, I really have nothing more to say. This team, Doug Peterson deciding he's going to pull a Zach Brown and guarantee a win this week was a bad move. But I know Eagle fans are gonna say he didn't use the word guarantee. He still, even if he didn't say the word guarantee, he still said that they were gonna go down there and win. And it's like they didn't learn from Zach Brown last week that you shouldn't do that. Otherwise, you're going to get your freaking asses whooped. He didn't learn from that. But, when your coach says something like that to try to rile you up, you should get motivated. And this team wasn't motivated at all. It's like pretty much if that won't motivate this team, and that what will? I mean, the only thing left that I can think of that would motivate them is this blowout loss. But I'm not going to get my hopes up. And the Dallas Cowboys basically did what I pretty much expected was, since there's little secondary help, they're just going to actually, since the defense really weak, is that they're just going to exploit the hell out of it. The Eagles have never been able to stop Zeke, and really you can pretty much beat the Eagles just by passing it deep every play. That's pretty much all you need to do is beat them, is have your number one receiver just run a long slant down and then just deep ball it every time, and that's how you'll beat the Eagles. I mean, it's super easy. I don't have much hope left for this team. I definitely do try to be more optimistic with these sports videos, especially since a lot of Eagle fans do tend to be on the negative side. However, that's not the case here. In fact, I don't think I'm being negative enough, but I'm pretty much, I don't know. I mean, if the Eagles are not going to put any effort into their games, why should I put effort into the amount of emotion I'm going to put in the video or whatnot? I'm not even going to do the whole Fly Eagle Fly chant or fight song at the end of this video, just because if they don't give a damn, I'm not going to give a damn. And I think that is going to just be how things are. So, hooray for the new norm in Philadelphia. Underachieving trash. Now, I don't want to say this, okay? I want the Eagles to prove me wrong, and all they've done so far is pretty much prove me right. That's all they've done so far, is just prove me right every single week with my criticism. And in fact, I find new criticisms, or the criticism just get worse. You need to fix this shit. That's all I'm going to say. That's pretty much all I have to say, is there's so many problems, and this locker room is just beyond dysfunction, with players showing up late, some players hating Carson Wentz, some players hating Doug Peterson, just a whole bunch of wash of crap. And we're in the middle of a road where it's like, do we want to get our asses beat in the first round of the playoffs, in the wild card round, or just barely miss the playoffs with a mid-round pick? Or do we want to go ahead and start tanking and hope for a top 10 pick, even though most of our players on the roster are probably going to retire next season? Okay, I shouldn't say most, but there's going to be key retirements. In terms of other things that happened this game, Andre Dillard had his first start. He got his ass whooped. Not too upset about that. He's a rookie. It's his first game. Rookie seasons, especially the rookies, do have a lot of rough games during their first season. So, yeah. Hopefully he'll develop better. But I really do not have much more to look forward to. And it seems like there's not going to be a single blockbuster trade this season. Despite how much Howie has been pursuing, all these different players, it just seems it's not going to happen. I think the other teams probably caught on or whatnot. And yeah, and plus the Eagles don't exactly have a leverage here. So if they do make a move, it's probably going to be some shit like it's probably going to be something along the lines of the Ramsey trade, or probably worse. That's my guess. Or if it's like, for Chris Harris Jr. or something, like an older player, then it's probably going to be like a second round or third round pick that they're probably going to give up if they want to go that route, which both those players are on their final year. And if it's for a team that's just going to barely make the playoffs and get bounced and quicker than they did last year, is a midseason trade really worth it to lose that kind of stock? And they have only until tomorrow to pull pull something off, because if they can't, then we should just expect the season to be lost. Actually, not because they can't pull something off tomorrow. I mean, in combination with that, and depending on how the Bills game goes next week, I'm still going to be watching every single game, but I'm going to be more pessimistic now. Because as an Eagles fan, you can't have optimism. That 2017 season was an outlier. All you know is apathy. That is the feeling of being an Eagles fan. And I'm not saying that being an Eagles fan is the worst one possible, because I know there's worse out there, like being a Detroit fan and having the refs constantly screw you over, or being a Browns fan where your team decides to F off and move to Baltimore, and then you get your team back, and then they just completely suck for 2 decades, and then they are hyped up this season, and then they just completely underachieve. Okay, that last one's very similar to the Eagles, but different context in both situations. But yeah, I know this is disjointed, but like I said, if the Eagles are not going to put effort into their games, then I'm not putting effort into these videos. Oh, or rather, the sports videos, I should say. I'm still putting effort into the other stuff. But yeah, low effort play equals low effort fans. So yeah. I'm not even going to go ahead and do my usual thing actually, I will do my usual thing at the end, because I know a lot of you Dallas Cowboys, Washington Redskins, and New York Giants fans are probably getting a real kick out of this. So yeah, I guess I'm making your Monday, or whatever day you decide to watch this, if this even is watched. So I'll just thank you for watching regardless. Thank you for supporting this video. And I honestly, even if you are a Cowboys fan, I really do hope that you have a great day. So, yeah. Awesome. And then I'll see you next week with the Bills post-game show. Yay!